Hello again, and welcome to another edition of Tribulation Ready Survival. I'm Michael, and I wanted to do an update video for you guys this morning, as well as maybe do a couple other small things along with that. So the update's going to be on the seed starting video. So about a week ago, and then again yesterday, the tomato seeds and all of the flower seeds and the pepper seeds have been planted. The peppers did not turn out very well. I'm not sure why. Sometimes things just don't. I thought I had good seed. We'll see. Some of them don't look so great, but the tomatoes are doing very well. So as we do a tour of the garden, we're going to talk about a few things. So here's what we got. So what I've done is the salvaged pots from my previous video I have turned into medicinal garden, and also some vegetables. So we have nasturtium growing right here. We've got one of the pepper plants that I started indoors, another one here, a couple more here. We're going to see how they take off. This is container variety summer squash. And so then we move on to some potatoes, more potatoes here. And this is what I use for insect control for some of it. This is marigold. And my wife wanted me to grow some blue wheat. That's what this is called, blue wheat. Apparently it's the seed heads are going to be blue. We'll keep doing an update on that and see how that looks. These are chives. This is the second year, so after the second year they start to seed, and I've already trimmed off the seed. It's got these beautiful flowers here. Of course they smell like onions, or chives I guess, but I trimmed those off yesterday, and most of the seed, these are just going to seed inside here, but most of the seed heads are going to dry out, and we'll save those. I have some mint growing in here. I've got some serrano peppers that are going to start growing, and I'm going to have to thin those out. These are, I'm not sure, I didn't label them for some reason. This is my garlic that has been ravaged by a hailstorm, which it's still growing, so I'm going to keep her going with some marigolds along the side here. The garlic is going to be fine. It just got hit by the hail and the wind, and yeah, nothing you can do about that. Just keep her going. We got watermelons over here, more potatoes, and now we're getting on to the peppers and the tomatoes. So these tomatoes were started indoors. I planted them out here yesterday. These are the ones that I planted a couple of weeks ago. They're having some issues. I think it's nitrogen, and we will get that taken care of with my compost. I've been making compost tea, and they rather like it. So these are the ones that I started indoors also. These guys over here. This one has been growing most of the winter. That was one that my daughter found growing in a tomato, and we wanted to see if an organic tomato, and we want to see if we could grow it. And by golly, it's one of the best ones already. And then again, like I said, for seed control, I've got my marigolds in here. And not seed control, insect control. Got my marigolds, and I move those around. If I need some insect control, I kind of move those around. And of course, compost bins here. I've got some lettuce coming in here, bucket lettuce, some dill. That's an empty pot. And then here, these are going to be pumpkins, and they're going to take over my whole side of this yard, I'm sure. And I saw a squash bug in here yesterday, or day before, so I put some marigolds in here, and that usually helps with those. We have some potatoes, some more potatoes right there, and then here, this is going to be, this is more of the summer squash container variety, so I put it in this raised bed. Both of these raised beds over here and here were made from scrap wood that I had taken off my deck when I replaced it. Now, this is one of my favorites. I've always had good luck with these. Don't say luck, it's not luck. But I've always had good harvest with these guys. These are bush beans, Kentucky Wonder bush beans. The last row way back here is wax beans, another version of that. So here's one of my favorite things to grow, mainly because they're easy and kind of fun, and they're just beautiful. So these are sunflowers. They grow about 1 inch to 2 inches every day. This is now Tuesday, and on Sunday they were this tall. Now they are this tall, and they're growing thicker. So what I've done is, I originally start to plant these. These are all sunflowers, all along here. You can see that whole row, and then I thin them out. Some of them do make it, some of them don't make it, but the ones that do, I have to thin them out, and they grow really tall. These are going to be about 18 feet tall. At least that's how they've been growing the last couple years. With the seed and flower head about the size of a dinner plate. So I will be thinning these out. I know they're in front of other things, that's just fine. I'm going to thin them out. But I had so much seed, I had thousands of seeds, and I wanted to see how they would do. So in this bed here, I just rehabbed it. I took out all stuff that was in here and ripped out all the fabric. This is another tomato from the seed starting video. This guy is going insane. He's way ahead of all the other ones, and I think he likes the container, which is great. So we have more calendula. We have calendula here, more squash, more lettuce, some wax beans back here. These are going to be some small sunflowers. Then we have bachelor's button. My sweet peas are growing here, and you can see they're starting to flower, which is awesome. And they rather enjoy it, and they're starting to climb up here. So sometimes you got to coax these guys along a little bit. But then we have more potatoes. We have a butterfly garden here. We have some calendula, and I'm going to have to thin these out a little bit. There's a little bit too many in there. That's just fine. And then we have more sunflower seeds. Well, then I built out of some scrap my neighbor was getting rid of. He had got rid of some old beat up trellis. And so I took this trellis and I put it together with some zip ties. And this is part of an inner spring for an old mattress that I cut and bent a few years ago. And I built another raised bed out of the scrap from the deck, wood from the deck, and made some cucumbers to grow up this trellis. And then right here we have oregano, and it's really, really strong oregano. And you can see where I have the deck boards that I just replaced. Those were made into the raised beds. And here we have an herb garden. So here we have some parsley. This is also parsley, but it's triple curled parsley. We have thyme, cilantro. These are zinnias, and those are rosemary, daisy, parsley. This is going to be some sage right here. And we have another bucket of dill right here. So let's just talk about a couple of things that God has put on my heart. And one of the things that I really get a lot out of gardening. I enjoy it so much. It's just a wonderful thing to see things growing and God blessing you, and it's just incredible. So one of the things that we have to do is we have to thin out the flowers and thin out some of the plants. Some of them don't like to be growing too close together, and it's really hard for me. So because I grow beautiful things just like this close together, and I plant them that way because I want to be able to thin them out. And I think God does the same thing. He puts so many people out here, and they all have a purpose. The purpose is to grow and be fruitful, and at different times and for different reasons, He thins us out. He takes us out of the ground where we've been planted, and He has His own purpose, and I don't necessarily know what all the purpose is, but I think my purpose, I feel that God is telling me that my purpose is to bring messages to you guys. Everything that here has been planted in fertile soil. And I would like to think that my soil is fertile, but this soil didn't always start out that way. Soil doesn't always start out in such a manner that it will support all the life that you want to get out of it. So you have to do certain things. You have to, I call it rehab, but you have to put in amendments. You have to put in compost. You have to put in, work the soil and make sure that it's not all clay and that the soil is good. And if the soil isn't good, you can kind of start changing those things to make it so that it is better and that it does grow things. Most of the soil here is clay and has been amended with sand and compost and other things to make it as fruitful as it is. And that's God's blessing. So there are so many messages that I get when I come out here and I work in the garden, and it's my time to be out here where it's quiet and listen to the birds, and I can hear God talking to me very regularly, as well as the same time is when it's peaceful and I'm out fishing. I don't have all the background noise, and I don't have cell phones beeping, I don't have dogs barking, I don't have cars zooming by, and for me, that's what I gotta have when I have my time with God. And so, with all that's being said, guys, I just wanted to show you some of the things that God has been blessing us with here. That also brings a little conversation about us here at Tribulation Ready Survival. I am encouraging everyone who's watching these videos and who subscribes to this channel and follows us on Facebook. We are going into some hard times, guys. I believe that the tribulation is starting and has started, and God is going to continue to bless His people. And if you're not one of His people, then you're going to really, really have a hard time. And so I would encourage you to start farming your yard. Farming your yard, guys. When you can't go to the grocery store, where can you go? Go out your back door. Get your groceries here, guys. And can it be done? Absolutely, it can be done. I'm proving it to you. God has blessed us. I think most of this is, if I had to count seed, probably less than $20 in seed. And, for $20, you can get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of groceries out of here. I've already got probably $20 or $30 worth of onions out of this that I've been growing all winter. And so those have already been harvested and they're gone. And I saved their seeds. So guys, I just wanted to bring this to you this morning. This is not a video of, hey, look what I got. This is not that at all. This is, we have told you what we think is going on, and God has been telling us that these things are going to happen and that you need to start doing what you can and preparing for the famine. There is going to come to a time where you cannot go to the grocery store. And when you can't go to the grocery store, God has given you that time before that to prepare. And so, if you haven't, I hope you have, but if you haven't, then you need to start doing that now. And that doesn't necessarily mean just stocking up on food. That means preparing your yard, learning how to can the harvest that God has given you, and that means that this food may not all just be for me. That means that I'm growing it, and I may share it with whoever I need to share it with, and we can bless other people. So, guys, with that being said, I thank you for spending time with us today here at Tribulation Ready Survival. I hope that God is blessing you. We ask that you pray for us here, and we will pray for you also. If you want, I would like you to, if you haven't subscribed, I would like you to subscribe. I would also like you to leave comments, either here at the bottom of the video, which come to us immediately, or you can comment on the Facebook page for Tribulation Ready Survival. And with that being said, guys, I hope you have a great day, and please come back and visit us again.